My name's Rebecca Marshman. I work for BaxterStorey as a group head pastry chef. So the area I work in the private sector. I run and look after 2 sites and I have a pastry chef on each site. We're looking after private dining, we also have a retail offer, and we're basically doing anything that's sweet, sometimes bread, in both of those sections. I haven't always been a pastry chef. I used to work in the main kitchen. I've worked at places like Claridge's, Hilton Park Lane. I also went to America for a little bit and did a TV stint over there when I was 19, which was mental. And then I sort of decided that I wanted to stick with the pastry because it was just a passion and an area that I found really, really interesting, and I was actually quite good at it. So I then decided I'm going to stick with the pastry, and I worked at places like Wimbledon, was one of my biggest roles, and then I came into more of the private sector with BaxterStorey. So my cooking style, I would say, is fun. I think when you're eating something on a plate, you eat with your eyes and you want to see not only an amazing dish, but it needs to taste great as well. So for me, I always say my cooking style is fun. I don't always stick to the exact rules of pastry. I sometimes like to do things a little bit my own way. I think that's probably from when I was in the main kitchen, but I think that food should be fun, and I think that making food should be fun. And especially when you eat it, you want it to be fun, but also obviously taste amazing. My favourite thing to cook as a pastry chef has to be afternoon tea. It's a classic, you know, when you go to these 5-star hotels and they're creating these amazing pastries. I love recreating that, and luckily in this role we have private functions where we do afternoon tea, which has to be my favourite because you can make something look really pretty, really dainty, but it has a lot of elements, a lot of textures, a lot of flavours, so that's definitely one of my favourite things. So as part of my role, we have the retail offer, which is a bakery. So we're doing lots of fresh cakes, scones, things like that. And it's for a retail offering. So it's sort of like a grab and go, you know, brownies, cookies, things that are great, but not as refined. Then we have the private dining where we're doing obviously fine dining desserts, where we're using a lot of elements, ice cream, sorbets, things like that. And then obviously our afternoon tea. We also have functions where we're doing buffets, so small cakes, petit gâteaux, things like that. So it's always something different. It's always something different. I love using chocolate. I like using all different types of chocolate. My favorite would have to be Verona Dulce because it's like a caramel chocolate, it's delicious. And then when it comes to ingredients that are more British, I love using local honey in a dessert because I think that's a great thing, and also lavender from our rooftop garden, which is amazing. So I think my future is probably going to be always based in the private sector, and what I would like to do at the moment, I'm looking after 2 sites, but I would love it eventually to be looking after more sites and being able to bring more in-house pastry to more sites. Another thing that I've always wanted to do is write a book, so I think maybe one day that'll be where I'm heading to. I think when chefs are looking to decide where they want to go in their career, they really need to consider, is pastry for me? I know that the main kitchen is more popular, but I do believe that you can learn so much in the pastry. It isn't all just sweet, you know, there's bread, there's savoury options, and it's so technical. If you are in that technical mindset, the pastry might be more set for you, where you can learn recipes but also grow and expand. I think most young chefs, the best advice I can give is just be a sponge. Wherever you're working, be a sponge, take everything in. It can be hard and it can be difficult, but there's also some great rewards from being a chef.